Top story this lunchtime. The world is once again reeling after a deadly terror attack targeting Jewish people, this time at Sydney's iconic Bondi beach. Two men opened fire at a Hanukkah gathering, killing 15 people. The victims include a 10-year-old girl, a British-born rabbi and a Holocaust survivor. Leaders across the world have condemned what they call an anti-Semitic attack, and security's been stepped up around Jewish communities in major global cities. Well, here's what the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese had to say about the attack overnight.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of anti-Semitism, an act of terrorism on our shores in an iconic Australian location, Bondi Beach, that is associated with joy, associated with families gathering, associated with celebrations. Today, all Australians wrap our arms around them and say, we stand with you. We will do whatever is necessary to stamp out anti-Semitism.
Police have confirmed that the gunmen were father and son, Sajid Akram and Naveed Akram. The older man died at the scene, while his son is still in a critical condition in hospital. They had reportedly pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group, while IS flags were found in their car. Australia's leaders are now pledging action and have been questioning whether gun laws need to be tightened.
I think it's time that we have a change to the law in relation to the firearms legislation in New South Wales.
Breaking news this lunchtime that resident doctors have voted to reject the government's latest offer on working conditions, clearing the way for a 5-day strike to go ahead. It means nearly half of England's medical workforce will walk out this week. The British Medical Association says a 5-day strike will begin on Wednesday, following months of deadlock over pay and working conditions. Health leaders say it could cause major disruption during the busy winter period, with flu cases already at record levels. Ministers are accusing the union of acting irresponsibly and putting pressure on patients. In the US, legendary Hollywood director and actor Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle have been found dead at their home in Los Angeles. Police are investigating the deaths as an apparent homicide after officers were called to the couple's house on Sunday. No arrests have been made and no suspect is currently being sought. The UK has condemned the conviction of British national and Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai, calling it a politically motivated prosecution. The 78-year-old pro-democracy activist was found guilty under Hong Kong's Beijing-imposed national security law, and he now faces a possible life sentence. Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper said that Mr Lai was targeted for peacefully exercising free speech. A man who admitted dozens of offences after a car ploughed into crowds at Liverpool's Victory Parade has appeared in court today for sentencing. Paul Doyle broke down in tears as proceedings got underway at Liverpool Crown Court, with more than 30 victims watching on. Prosecutors said he was driving dangerously, frightening pedestrians on what should have been a day of celebration. The court heard that he ignored traffic measures before ploughing into fans on Water Street. Prosecutors say that sentencing hearing is expected to last for 2 days. The former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is giving evidence to the COVID inquiry today for the second time, focusing on the government's economic response to the pandemic. Mr Sunak, who was the Chancellor at the time, told the inquiry there was no playbook for dealing with the scale of the crisis and defended measures he introduced, including furlough and Eat Out to help out. The hearing will examine the government's preparedness, the economic shock of COVID and the lessons learned from the decisions taken by the government. Kemi Badenoch has said that the Conservatives would scrap the zero-emissions vehicle mandate and ditch the 2030 ban on new petrol and diesel cars. That is, if they win the next election. She argues that the current targets are economic self-harm and says policy should follow consumer demand. But the government insists the transition to EVs remains central to growth and net zero plans. The government has said it's rolling out more than £280 million to help colleges expand their capacity. Around £100 million is aimed at construction courses as ministers try to train tens of thousands more workers to meet the government's housing targets. Local leaders and mayors will be able to decide how the rest of the funding is used ahead of an expected surge in post-16 numbers. And Sir Cliff Richard has revealed he's been treated for prostate cancer over the past year, saying that the disease has gone for the moment. The 85-year-old singer says the cancer was caught early during a routine health check and hasn't spread. He's now backing calls for a national screening programme for men. Those are your lunchtime headlines. Next, though, a look at the lunchtime market.